Professional wedding planners, what role do they play? Do you work with them or do you work for them? Are they really necessary? These are some of the questions we're going to answer today on another episode of the G7 Files. Let's get into it. For as long as men and women have been getting married, or people, should I say, have been getting married, the role of a professional wedding planner has been to arrange the details of the wedding day and help manage the guest. Perhaps not the stylish, modern-day, high-profile wedding planners that are hired by celebrities that we've all become accustomed to. Usually a friend, a neighbor, or even a relative who has been tasked with the responsibilities of decorating, managing the guest, or seeing to the small details which may occur during that day. And sometimes this is done without even expecting any compensation for their efforts. Weddings, engagements, and events have changed over the last 30 years or so, and so have the wedding planners. Today's professional wedding planners are usually highly skilled individuals with a special skill set that pretty much keeps things from hitting the fan on your wedding day. Did you know that the end of the Second World War marked the beginning of the big-time American wedding? Before that, weddings were typically nothing more than small-time events held in the backyards and the living rooms of usually one of the family members. And then in 1981, America turned its eyes, or should I say the world turned its eyes, to the weddings to end all weddings. The marriage of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer. Millions watched as this event set off what was known as the modern-day wedding frenzy. Almost overnight, weddings became the lavish, modern-day stuff that brides dream of. And the role of the wedding planner has never been and will never be the same again. Enough of the history lesson. In the intro, I posed the question, are wedding planners really necessary? Possibly. And I would even go as far as to say, maybe. Are professional wedding planners necessary? Most definitely. And believe me, there is a difference between the two. Although your cousin Trudy or your Aunt Elma may have the best of intentions, they are not professional wedding planners or even event coordinators. And things could go very badly for you if you end up going that route. As a professional photographer, I always strongly advise my clients to hire a professional wedding planner, because things, believe me, will start to spiral out of control on that date, more than you could ever imagine. Side note, if you are in the Detroit metropolitan area or any of its surrounding suburbs, I strongly advise you to look up Jennifer Troy of Glorious Gala Event Planning, I think. Top-notch service, and from what I understand, her prices are very reasonable. And now the main question. As a photographer, do you work for or do you work with a wedding planner? That depends on a couple of key factors. The first of which would be who made the first contact with you. You see, if the wedding planner hired you, then of course you work for her. Now, if the bride or the groom contacted you, then you work specifically for the bride or groom, and then you work with the wedding planner. It's a very delicate balance that you have to maintain, but you have to keep in mind that you're both working for the same thing, to keep the bride and the groom happy and to make their day go as smooth as possible when it comes to, in my case, photography. And then you also have to remember who's cutting your check at the end of the night. Well, I know this was a short one, but I try to make sure I bring you quality content. I'm your photographer, Darwin McCoy, and this has been another G7 Productions. Take care of yourselves.